The full moon hung like a spectral lantern in the night sky, casting an eerie glow over Boswell Place, a name synonymous with terror in this sleepy town. It was here, in the decaying remnants of an old farmhouse, that a malevolent presence lurked, waiting to claim its next victim. Decades ago, the townspeople had whispered tales of a cursed doll that resided here, a doll that refused to stay still. A doll that moved with a will of its own and delighted in terrifying those who dared to enter the house. These stories had become a thing of legend, a cautionary tale told to the town's children to keep them away from the dangerous dwelling. But for Evelyn, a young journalist with a taste for the macabre and an affinity for forgotten tales, it was the perfect subject for her next article. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and a notebook, she ventured into the suffocating darkness of the farmhouse. As she pushed open the creaking door, the wind seemed to moan in protest, causing the old structure to shudder. The air inside was thick with the scent of mildew and antique wood, and the only sound was the rhythmic drip of water from a leaky pipe somewhere in the darkness. With her flashlight beam, Evelyn began to explore. The living room was a sea of debris, everything coated in a thick layer of dust as if the house had been abandoned in the middle of a snowstorm. Her flashlight beam fell upon a mantelpiece, and there, nestled among some old photographs, was the doll. It was small and delicate, with porcelain skin and eyes that shone unnervingly in the darkness. Despite her pounding heart, Evelyn couldn't look away. She felt an inexplicable pull towards the doll, as if it were beckoning her closer. As she reached out to examine it, she noticed that the eyes seemed to follow her every move, never blinking, never once losing their unnerving gaze. Suddenly, as if jolted by a sudden movement, the doll's head snapped towards her. In that instant, Evelyn felt a chill crawl up her spine. Before she could react, her flashlight flickered and went out, plunging her into absolute darkness. A wave of panic surged through her as she heard what sounded like murmured giggles in the shadows. Then, as suddenly as it had gone out, the light flickered back on. And when Evelyn looked down, she saw that the doll was no longer in her hands. It was back on the mantel, its head turned slightly to the side, as if observing her through narrowed eyes. Shaking with a mixture of fear and excitement, Evelyn grabbed her notebook and began to write frantically. The doll has moved. Is it a trick of the light, or is it really moving on its own? As if to answer her question, the doll's head turned slightly to face her directly.